race is on to create the most streamlined passenger EV, and here's Hyundai's contender, the IONIQ 6, which slips through the air at just 0.21 CD. The result is a possible 338 mile range that beats many obvious rivals, and brings this saloon counterpart to the IONIQ 5 right into contention if you're looking at cars like the Polestar 2 and the Tesla Model 3.
There would be no point in this car looking like it does if all the efforts of streamlining didn't make a radical difference to range. Well, here's the figure, 338 miles, which applies to the 228 PS rear motor model we're trying here. A 325 PS dual motor all-wheel drive versions also available, which manages 322 miles. Both variants use a 77.4 kilowatt-hour battery and should be able to regularly crest 300 miles between charges. The streamlining necessary to achieve these range figures obviously helps refinement too. Don't be fooled by that 911 style rear end into assuming this to be some kind of sports saloon. It isn't, though it's as quick as many sedans of that sort. The all-wheel drive version making 62 miles an hour from rest in just 5.1 seconds. There are three main drive settings, Eco, Normal and Sport, and brake regen steering wheel paddles with a Max I pedal setting that slows the car noticeably off throttle. With top Ultimate trim, Hyundai includes active sound design, otherwise known as EASD, a technology that gives the IONIQ 6 a unique and defining sound under acceleration. It's certainly audibly futuristic, but having tried it once, you'll probably quickly turn it off. Customers choosing Ultimate specification can also specify the option of digital side mirrors. As for charging times, well, if you find a rare high-power charging station and can make the most of this car's exceptional 350 kilowatt charging speed provided thanks to its advanced 800-volt electric architecture, a 10 to 80% top-up would take just 18 minutes. But of course, right at present, it's far more likely that you'll be using a more conventional 50 kilowatt fast charging station, which requires 73 minutes to charge this Hyundai from 10 to 80%. If you use a 7.4 kilowatt household wall box, you're looking at 10 hours and 30 minutes. Hyundai design chief Sang-Yup Lee describes it as a mindful cocoon that aims to be practical, user-friendly and sustainable. It's all of these things, and there's certainly a feeling of plush environmentalism here, but we're not entirely certain that it offers the kind of deeply luxurious quality a car with this price tag ought to have. These flaps at either end of the dash are there to house the optional digital side mirrors that most IONIQ 6s won't have, and there are plenty of other trendy design touches, including this upper bridge panel. It doesn't quite join the dash, incorporating switches and stowage sections, plus a vast lower storage tray. The two-spoke wheel looks rather odd, with a large central bezel that above base trim houses lights that indicate various drive functions. Through the wheel, you view Hyundai's 12.3-inch driver's supervision instrument cluster display with graphics reminiscent of a piece of corrugated iron, with speed on the left and EV range data on the right. Everything else you'll need is to be found on this central full-touch infotainment display, which, as usual with Hyundai Group models, has two main home screen pages, one simple uncluttered one with a battery graphic, range, temperature, audio and navigation, or you can swipe left across to a display full of little icons. The seats position you a little high, but they're decently supportive and can be had in this relaxation guise, in which form they recline almost horizontally. Cabin storage features include this slide-out glove box, but there are no conventional door handles. You pull on these backlit illuminated rails. Now, you might expect this car's swept-back roof and 50mm wheelbase reduction over the boxier IONIQ 5 to compromise things a little in the rear. So let's find out. Actually, it's not too bad at all for a couple of adult six-footers. Headroom's affected a little, of course, by having a roofline with the curvature of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and a six-footer's forehead would be pretty close to the roofliner. Still, thanks to Hyundai's eGMP platform and its long 2,950mm wheelbase length, there's an impressive amount of legroom. You really do get room to stretch right out here, and even with a 6-footer up front, there are no knee space issues at all. Conventional features include cup holders in the central armrest, a coat hook in the driver's side grab handle, and netted seatback pockets. Here's something that isn't conventional though, this little lower 250 volt 16 amp 3-pin V2L or vehicle to load port, only usable when the ignition's on. Great not only for a laptop or a phone, but also maybe even slightly bigger items you might be carrying, like say an electric scooter or a drone. It's a standard feature across the range. Using an extra cost adapter, you can also activate a second V2L port here within the powered driver's side charging flap, where you'll find the usual conventional charging socket, here embellished with 10 illuminating pixel squares designated battery charge status. This second V2L socket is arguably more useful because you can use it when the ignition's off. Enough with that, let's finish with a look at the boot. Cargo capacity is rated at 401 litres, about the same as a Polestar 2, which is 126 litres less than an IONIQ 5, but more relevantly, 24 litres less than a Tesla Model 3. The rear seatback splits 60-40 for those occasions when you really can't resist the allure of flat pack furniture. Not all EVs in this segment give you extra storage space for the charging needs beneath the bonnet, but you get that here, though not much of it, just 45 litres in this rear-driven model. The frunk of an all-wheel drive IONIQ 6 offers just 12 litres of space. Still, it'll be useful perhaps for the storage of valuables.